Welcome to Homecoming with the Downer Brothers. This is Anthony.
And this is Anton.
And I'm excited for this episode today. We have one of our good friends, Rashauna Scott, flipping in heels. So, Rashauna, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
And I can always tell when I see you walk in, you always got some deal you working on. Like, you always working on something. I know
I'm
something.
telling you. And I want to add right now, Rashauna is still in her mid-20s. You know, if we were moving units the way she is when we were her age.
Right. I mean, I bought my condo. I bought one condo at 25 years old. I wasn't thinking about building a real estate business. I just wanted to have a place to call my own. She doesn't think that way. She is a boss, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
Yes. They made it's like a hashtag I've been seeing lately, Lady Boss. That's like your picture should be next to it.
Right. What you think about that? You think your picture should be next to Lady Boss?
My picture should be next to Flippin' in Heels.
Okay.
Flippin' in Heels.
We're definitely gonna ride about with that. We're gonna ride with that. So, we start off every episode exactly the same way. So we're gonna ask you a question. Where are you from? And when you were younger, I should say.
Right.
What did you learn growing up about real estate or business or financial literacy? I mean, what impact did it have on who you are now?
So I am from Chicago, born and raised on the South Side. And growing up, what lessons that I learned about financial literacy or business, there weren't too many. Pretty much my lesson, or even my first real thought at being an entrepreneur, that didn't come until I was in high school, and there was a career day, and there was someone who came to the school, and he explained that he worked for AT&T, and he was a manager at AT&T, and even though he was a manager there, he didn't depend on AT&T to take care of him and his family. He also owned 400 vending machines across the city of Chicago.
400?
400. And that's what I said too.
Right.
That's exactly what I said too. I mean, I might have been 15 or 16, and right away I understood financial freedom, you know, and because he said, you know, job security is an oxymoron, right? And he was saying, like, he could be let go at any time, and that really stuck with me. Like, you know, you're absolutely right. And so he explained the process of what it costs to fill all the machines up, what it cost him in maintenance, and how much he made when the machines were emptied out. And again, that concept just really stuck with me. And so from there, I knew, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be successful. I want to be financially free. Like all of these terms that I wasn't using before. Mm-hmm. And from there, it was a matter of, okay, now it's time to figure it out. How can I become successful? I need to start going to workshops. I need to start educating myself on credit card investing, and, you know, just different types of investment opportunities and things like that. So it wasn't until high school, and then I started talking with a lot of people who were older, some who gave me some great advice from a mentorship perspective, and then others who actually gave me resources, like gave me different books and things like that to read. So that's where it started early on in that. I would say sophomore to senior year, and then even with graduating high school and going to college, like I knew I didn't want to go away to school because I was like, well, I didn't want to be in debt. I didn't want any student loan debt because at the time, it was all over the news that student loan debt was one of the top reasons that a lot of people couldn't buy houses. Absolutely. And couldn't do this and couldn't do that. You know, It was really on the rise, like, you know, $1 trillion industry.
I mean, that's today.
Right. Even, today, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even then was when it was, there was a lot of talk about it.
Right.
And I knew then, I was like, well, I'm staying at home. So I paid my way through school. Like, I don't have any student loan debt.
That's awesome. Because I'm almost done paying for my undergrad. Well, I only owe $3,000, but I guess I could just pay it off. But, you know.
No, we're going to keep it real, though.
But, hey, I've been paying that for 15 years, though.
Right,
After my master's degree, I was like, oh, now I have $65,000 worth of debt, which means I'm going to eventually have to roll that into one of my refinances.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. Tell people about what you actually do. Like, who is Rashauna Scott? Like,
right.
what do you do now? Well, why are we calling you a boss?
So I am a licensed realtor in the state of Illinois, as well as an investor. So my niche is raising private capital. So all of my deals, I don't have any of my money in. So I allow people the opportunity to invest in projects with me. So whether that's a fix and flip project, short term or long term. Short term is 6 months or less. Long term, I consider anywhere from 6 to 12 months. And then transitioning into rental properties as well. I also have some experience with tax lien investing and raising capital to do that. And that's pretty much it. I guess. I mean, just the whole world of real estate. I haven't too much tapped into commercial. It's mainly residential. But the majority of my investors I've never met before. They see what I'm doing on social media and they want to invest in projects with me. And then the majority of my other clients who actually want to buy property in Chicago, like they're on the East Coast or the West Coast, they too come through social media and they see what I'm doing. And they're like, hey, it seems like you have a system down packed. You have something that's working for you. And I want to be a part of that. So I think, by you guys calling me a boss, I'm sure it is probably it has to do with my age and how I'm able to move, but I've learned some lessons through there too, right?
We all do.
I've lost thousands of dollars. I've been in I've been in some crazy business relationships, and so I think just learning those lessons early has helped me, develop into the woman that I am today.
Well, I think it's I think it's always awesome for us to be able to identify a woman that's doing what you're doing, because we're always looking for people that can be role models. Mm-hmm. And of course, I believe we can be role models for women based on what we've done. But when they see another woman doing it, that's the reason why it's always
you can be what you see.
Yeah, you can be what you see.
And that's why we need you on our podcast.
Right, because they need to hear these stories and they need to hear what's possible. I don't think women should be afraid of real estate or making investments.
Right.
But I think it's about building a strong team.
Yes, absolutely about building a strong team, having conversations, having the tough conversations up front, right? A lot of times we don't have the confidence to ask for what we want, what we need, the support that we need. A lot of times we don't have that. So whether that's an age thing or a gender thing, a lot of times we just don't have that. And also, when I first got started in investing and I spent thousands of dollars into my real estate investing education, it wasn't with a woman. It wasn't with a black woman either. Mm-hmm. So I was looking around and I said, okay, where is she? Who is she? Where is that woman who is a decision maker and a change maker in this industry in my communities? And I didn't see her. And so I was like, okay, well, Flippin' in Heels was born from that, because like you said, women need to see that. Also, when you look on these TV shows, you have, it looks like, the success looks like a husband and wife and family, right? And as a single woman, or even there's some people who are out here who are single moms or whatever, you can have success from whatever dice you roll, right? Whatever hand you're dealt. So I think it was a matter of that too, showing that yes, you can be young, you can be a single woman, you don't have to, be married and all of this and have what this looks like, right? The American dream, in order to really make moves in this industry. So by it being a very male-dominated industry, it's yes, women can, I like to say, we can cut the check and we can cash the check. So, I want women can do that. We can be general contractors, we can be landlords, we can be property managers, we can be wholesalers, we can flip houses.
Right. And I'm a total supporter and advocate of that, because what our experience has been is that our team is built around strong women. I mean, really people see the Downing brothers, but what they don't see is that one of our primary realtor is a woman. Our property manager is also a woman. Our real estate attorney is a woman. And so we support women in the real estate industry because they for a fact have helped us make money and get to where we are. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Mom, because Mom got us started. She challenged my ego personally. My brother wasn't there for this particular moment, but she challenged me after I got that first paycheck back when I was 20. 23 years, I was 23 years old. I got that first real paycheck, and she challenged me and said, "Okay, you're not a real man until you own your own property, until you own the floors you walk on." That was a woman challenging me to be a better man, or to be a man, as they say.
Right.
So that's why I'm such an advocate for women, and I hope that the women that's listening out there hear this message. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I want to go to our pop culture moment. So we just grab something from the headlines. I read about it, and then we just give our thoughts and our opinions on what we read. And I found this story about the CEO Ariaka Daly, first black woman to own a factory in China. So Ariaka Daly is the founder and CEO of Virgin Hair Depot, a minority female-owned hair extension franchise where she oversees day-to-day operations, brand visibility, expansion, and development. So what she has done is on December 25th, Christmas of 2017, Daly inked a deal that made her the first African-American woman to own a factory in Henan, China. She currently manages every aspect of quality control, including sourcing, cleaning, and wetting. With plans to land 50 more franchises in the next decade, the North Carolina native is on a mission to expand her brand's reach and secure Virgin Hair Depot status as a household name. So, first black woman to own a factory in China. I mean, it's amazing when we see these first, and I mean, again, someone may see that story and say, "Look, I can own something too."
Yep, absolutely. I think first black woman anything is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm in full support. Like we talk about it so much, right? That the Asians are coming into our communities, or like we talk about it so much, and it's like she went ahead and she made the decision to go out there and open her own factory, and so she can be a distributor to her people. Because I'm sure we've all heard of the statistic. What is it? How many times like the dollar circles within our community, right? Versus it's circling 7 times within other communities, and it might be 0 or once with us, right? And for those of you who are listening who don't understand that concept, it's pretty much a matter of doing business with other individuals in your community. So when I get my paycheck and I go and get my hair done, who am I going to get my hair done with? Mm-hmm. And then that individual, whatever they do with that money, let's say they need to go and do some filming or some video work. Mm-hmm. Who are they going to go and pay for their marketing that they do that they use at their salon, right? And then the person who is doing the filming or the video work, maybe where are they buying their groceries, or what are they doing, or where are they going to eat, right? Because there's a ton of black-owned restaurants, especially in Chicago, right?
Yeah. At this moment, why don't we go to Anton's definition of the day?
That's right. It's Anton's definition of the day, and the definition today is appraisal. It can be difficult to assign an accurate value to a given property without knowing all the extraneous details associated with it. That's where an appraiser comes in. This professional is an unbiased third party brought into housing deals to offer their expert real estate insights regarding what they believe a given residence is worth.
All right, so we get appraisals so that we know what the fair market value is for a particular home. And you need that appraisal because the bank needs to know whether they should give someone a loan to buy a particular property. So that appraisal is like key. You can't even purchase a home unless the appraisal shows that the bank can give you the loan for that amount. So
the appraisal often shows comps as well in the neighborhood. So I think that once you get an appraiser, it's a third party, right? But once you get an appraiser, man, hold on to the phone number. So many people, and I don't know if that's been your experience with some of your clients, but some people get appraisals and then they just throw away the number like they're never going to do any other real estate deals ever again.
Yeah, because you're going to need that appraisal when you're trying to make a decision on whether you want to get a refinance, or you might want to get your own appraisals to decide when you want to sell your house, like what you may want to sell it. So, because you get comparables, but that appraisal, can give you, help you make a better decision about when you're ready to sell your home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do most of your clients like have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to
That's on
appraisals?
Sometimes, yeah. Some of them, most of them. The good thing is that I have a wonderful loan officer who can kind of quarterback that, because they actually have to reach out to them when it's time for them to order the appraisal, and then they have to pay for it. And then if they have any additional questions, because everybody gonna have questions before they spend the money. And so,
right.
if they don't understand exactly what an appraisal is for, then they'll ask the loan officer, and then they'll go ahead and explain it before they actually pay, and then schedule the appraisal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, hey, that's being professional. That's being on point, and that's making sure that the client knows what they need.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that it's so funny that that's the word of the day, because I literally have 2 deals.
Tell us about it.
Deals right now. You're looking at my face. I'm like,
yes.
I have 2 deals that appraise undervalue, and what that means is we're under contract for one amount. Let's say we're under contract at $400,000.
Okay.
And the property appraises at $350,000.
Ooh, $50,000 difference.
That's $50,000 difference.
Yeah.
And in that situation, what happens is either the seller will come down on their price, or if the buyer wants it bad enough, then they'll pay, over the difference. Now, I rarely advise my clients to do that at all. I've never had I had a situation where I had a buyer who was willing to pay some of the difference, but not all of it. Right. But at the same token, if you're buying at what the property is appraised for, you're already at the top of the market.
I mean, there's no equity.
There's no equity. It's no equity. So why would you go in and pay more for it, for one? But for 2, it's difficult because at that point, you have some sellers who are like, listen, my property, this is the price, it's worth what it's worth, I want what I want. And they can hold out and they can back out of the deal. And so knowing that an FHA appraisal does stay with the property for 6 months. So if they put it back out on the market, more than likely they're going to say like conventional only. Mm-hmm.
Right, because conventional loan is a little bit more flexible as far as.
Well, the good part is, I think, because you're on the buyer side of the deal, hopefully it works out for your client.
Hopefully.
That they get it for hypothetically $50,000 cheaper.
Hopefully,
because that seller might be desperate to sell it. You don't know their financial circumstances, but they might be desperate to sell because they need that money to go move on to do something else. So maybe they will come down.
I feel like and it just depends. I mean, I've had both. I have scenarios where both have happened, where the seller said, "Listen, I want what I want, and I'm not coming down," and they put it back out on the market and said conventional only. And now, of course, they ended up sitting on the market because nobody in their right mind is gonna buy. And then also you have to think too, like when you say no FHA, you're limiting a huge pool of buyers. Right. So I've had it both ways where, then they come down and then there's some negotiations that take place. I mean, even the realtors' commissions can get cut. Like there's a lot of things that can, happen to make the deal work. But at the end of the day, it's about the client. For me, especially representing the buyer, it's a matter of them getting the best deal possible and getting what's fair.
Right. So, because for us, and we talk about this all the time, there's only 2 ways the Downer Brothers are moving forward on a deal. Either we're going to be buying a property for cash flow, so we know that after we pay the mortgage and maintenance, that we know we're going to be getting money going back into our personal bank account. We're going for cash flow. Or the second way, we're buying below market value so that we're walking into equity. So in our quote unquote circumstance, or we're always looking at something. We prefer to find something where we're getting it $50,000 below market value. So if we know it's at $400,000, for whatever reason, we're trying to find a circumstance where we can buy a property for $350,000 in a neighborhood that's commanding $400,000.
Look, we're recession babies. Our first properties, like his first condo, he bought for $150,000, and a year later, with the 2008 recession, it was only worth $30,000. So that's literally where our experience is coming from, and why we're not buying stuff at top dollar. This is not going to happen.
It has to be below market value or cash flow, period.
Yeah. Due to the factor of supply and demand, there are a lot of investors out there who are pushing prices up due to the demand of the buyers that are on the market. And that way, you know, the prices are up, the supply and demand factor is there, but the properties aren't really worth what they say they're worth.
Which is what we're saying.
Which is
over
very
in Woodlawn,
unfortunate.
South Shore,
Which is very unfortunate.
Obama Center, Tiger Woods Golf Course.
Not even. We're seeing it in Auburn Gresham too. There's absolutely no reason why a two unit with an unfinished basement should be $3 anything.
Right.
It should not touch 300.
This is another neighborhood in Chicago we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's not near. I mean, yes, it's near public transportation, but it's not near like a major shopping center. It's not near the lake. It's not near downtown. It's in a regular neighborhood where those prices shouldn't see more than $240, maybe $250.
Right. So it's this artificial inflation.
Absolutely. And then you also have those developers who are going in and they're creating their own comps because they are going in and they're renovating the property and then they're selling it, and then with each other property that they do after that, they raise the price just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and then that's where those appraisals come in. Buyer beware. Yeah, price gouging is very real, especially in real estate when you're in a market where it's a supply and demand.
Right, so we need you all to be looking out for that. I mean, you need to know what the fair market value is for a neighborhood. You need to look at the trends, because those trends are what we're talking about right now, where we're saying buyer beware. Because if you see a trend where prices are going up artificially and there's no actual reason or infrastructure or something else important from the government or private sector that's put it up there, then you need to be careful, because you don't want to get stuck with a property where you're going to be underwater. So, I got a question for you. This is Homecoming with the Downer Brothers.
It is.
I need you to come off the top of your head and just tell us, what do you think of when I say the term homecoming? What does that mean to you?
Homecoming. What does that mean to me? Coming home. That's what it is. Homecoming. It's you get that warm, fuzzy feeling, right? Because you don't say house, right? And everybody knows the difference between house and a home. But yeah, I get that feeling of belonging, right? I get that feeling of being secure. And again, when I think of homecoming, I think of something that feels familiar. Like it has kind of that ring to it, where it's a familiar situation or familiar place.
Right. And the reason why I ask about homecoming is because when people give those types of responses and answers, then it reminds us of why we should do something to try to help home. Help wherever we feel those feelings. We need to do something to support that community or that neighborhood where we came from that makes us feel that way, and not forget about it. So as we become successful and we'll become the bosses or become the Downer Brothers and go on and do the great things, that we always come back and support home. And so with that being said, is there any charitable organization or any cause or anything like that you can think of that people out there should do some research and support?
So that I think about it. A friend of mine who you guys have met, Charles Oaksby Todd Millie, he has an organization called Bless the Black Man, where all of his proceeds go towards like trying to end homelessness and things like that. And he's always like giving money away. But he has an organization where he raises money through events and workshops and conferences to pretty much change the face of how black men are shaped, in this country.
What's the name of it?
Bless a Black Man.
Bless a Black Man. Okay, Bless a Black Man. We need to look up Bless a Black Man, and so we can support that cause for real. Yep. Shout out to Charles, though.
Yeah,
shout out to Todd.
Hey,
wasn't that the first guest spot that we ever had on the podcast?
Yeah, that was the first podcast that we were on.
Well, shout out to Rashauna for the invite.
I like how Rashauna.
First of all,
you see how she co-hosted. Hopefully y'all see that video where she just patted herself on her own back. You see the flexibility of her arm as she patted herself on the back. Yeah, the Downer Brothers did our first guest spot on the podcast, on the Time Millionaire podcast, featuring Rashauna Scott. So thank you for you all for that.
And now look at you guys. Got your own show. Y'all on floats. Y'all was already on TV. Y'all giving away free houses, doing
we
your
are
thing.
doing what we can to support our hometown, and that's the reason why we always want to highlight these homecoming causes. So shout out to Charles Oglesby, and can you say it one more time? What's the name?
Bless the Black Man.
And Bless a Black Man. We need to all look into that. So really, I mean, that was just a great episode. I mean, we learned some things today about fair market value, about appraisals, about women getting out here and getting to it. Get to the bag. I mean, you don't have fear. Rashauna said it just now. Like, hey, you can do this too.
Yep.
If you have a dream, make a plan and execute that plan. You all are listening to a woman that is embodying that right here in Chicago.
Well, actually, not just here in Chicago, because I mean, we see you like traveling to a lot of
cities. You're absolutely right, man.
Speaking in front of people. You're not afraid to get in front of people
in so many states right now.
Right. So,
I've been on like more planes this year than like the previous years combined. It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, so for all the women that's listening right now, hey, get out there and get it, because you got an example here. Rashauna Scott is doing it.
Yeah, and come meet me at some events. I've been LA, Philly, DC.
Our event too. Yeah,
their event.
In fact, I believe we're gonna be working together a lot in the year coming up.
We'll say
that. In the year coming up.
We'll say that.
All right, so that closes another episode of Homecoming with the Downer Brothers. Please be sure to check out our website, thedownerbrothers.com. Go ahead and check us out on Instagram and Facebook, The Downer Brothers, so you can check out our events. We do have a series of events featuring people just like Rashauna Scott, and so we definitely want to see you guys live and in person, and check us out on the web. See you next time.